The following is a special presentation of Pens TV.
It is said to be the most sacred place in all of sport, filled with tangible necessities and intangible requirements. A pass to enter must be earned. An invitation to stay commands respect. Its contents will always be defended.
You don't mess with what happens in the locker room, and that goes when good's happening, when bad's happening. The locker room, that's home, that's the family, that's the team, and you don't mess with that.
The Penguins didn't want to mess with anything. Pittsburgh had won 4 straight heading into its much-anticipated showdown with the Flyers. And just 44 seconds into the game, it looked like that streak may continue.
Here's Tyler Kennedy. Quick chance. Score! Jordan Staal! He was set up by Tyler Kennedy, and the Penguins take an early 1-0 lead.
Early leads don't always garner lasting results. Former Penguins Jaromir Jagr and Max Talbot scored, leading the Flyers to their second straight win over Pittsburgh and starting another streak for their former team.
We just won 4 in a row. You don't know you're going to be set out on a 6-game losing skid.
It was obviously frustrating. After the last few seasons, we're not used to losing games like that, and it was one of our goals coming into the season not to lose back-to-back games. So obviously that goes out the window pretty quick when you lose 6 in a row.
The Penguins were not only losing games, but players as well. Already without stars Sidney Crosby and Chris Letang, Pittsburgh's injury woes continued.
Dupuis of the Penguins on the puck. Looking for Jordan Staal. He's upended by Rupp and knocked down.
Oh, Stahl's hurt. Oh, Jordan Stahl's hurt. Grabbing his knee. Boy, is he in a lot of pain.
The following night, the pain continued. Another loss and another injury. This one to the team's leading goal scorer, James Neal. The Penguins were laboring, and their coach was concerned.
The mindset of the team is something you really worry about as a coach. You really want to try to get focused on playing the way we need to play, playing how we play, being prepared to play that way, and then, not being worried about a mistake.
You just got to break out of it somehow. You want to always be positive and say you're doing the right things, and you try to work your way out of it by hard work and things that you know that makes your team successful, and it took us a while to figure that out.
Fortunately for the Penguins, they never had to figure out how to play without James Neal. Thought to be out for weeks, the all-star forward didn't even miss a game.
Really surprised, yeah. It was a big sigh of relief the next day to be able to get him back in the lineup that you're thinking that you weren't going to have. Just kind of gave us a big boost. I remember going to practice that day and actually, guys smiling or having fun.
Despite Neal's return, the tough times continued. Pittsburgh lost its next 2 games and then left for Florida with some reading material. An article suggesting the captaincy had been questioned inside the locker room.
I know as reported there was a meeting about certain things. We actually didn't have a meeting about anything.
There's no question that anybody in our locker room ever doubts that Sidney Crosby is our captain and always will be.
When you start to lose some games like that, people start to come up with stories of why that might be or what's going on, and it gets tough around the team. And I think Sidney wanted to be there with the guys for that stretch. He wanted to be going through it with them.
Yeah, it was definitely surprising to us because he wasn't on the trip originally, and someone actually brought us clothes to the airport when we were leaving. Just seeing his face, I think it was uplifting for everybody. We had a really good day off in Florida where we did some team exercises, and he was part of all that stuff, and I think it was good for him. I think it was good for all of us.
The unsuspected morale boost was reciprocated with a sign of unity and a show of respect for the captain.
I think it was a great sign for everyone to put on a C. Gino put on the Russian K. It was a couple different voices within our room, but really it was Pascal Dupuis. It was like, let's do this together.
It was in full support though by all 23 guys that were down there, and it was something that we just decided to have some fun with. I think if anything, it was probably a really good thing for us to just loosen everybody up, loosen up some of the tension that was in the room after losing 6 in a row.
When things are going bad, it's tough to smile some days. You come in, everyone is looking around the room like, what happened here? Or maybe I was there. And so I think it was the first time that our team just kind of took a step back and showing that we are a team in here and we want to support everyone on our team, doesn't matter if they're in the lineup or not.
And that was one of the best practices we've had on a game day in a long time. So I think we just used that feeling in the morning, that loose feeling in the morning, and carried right into the game. Obviously got the result we wanted, and hopefully gets us on a little bit of a roll here.
After defeating the Panthers, the Penguins were hoping to sweep both Florida teams on the same trip for the first time in nearly 3 years.
Geez, I think I've done it once in 8 years. Obviously there's some distractions weather-wise when you're down there, and those teams have always given us trouble down there for some reason.
Most troubling was the fact that Pittsburgh was out of the playoff picture entering the game in Tampa Bay. Tied 3-3 in the third period, Evgeny Malkin naturally put the Penguins back in the mix.
Here's a shot by Malkin, he scores! There's the goal by Malkin on the backhand, and the Penguins retake the lead. Malkin with another great chance, and on goal, he scores! Malkin with a beautiful, glossy finish on that one, makes it 5-3.
Malkin comes up with a puck, and there it is. The hat trick. How about that, Borky? 3 in a row. That, to me, that's the ultimate natural hat trick. I agree, man. And in one period, too.
That's probably as dominating period as he's had in a long time. But that's what we need, especially when the team's struggling or not doing well. You need your best guys to step up, and Gino certainly did.
Evgeny Malkin, when he speaks, is really noticeable, and he has spoken, but he also has gone out and played. We have talked about it as a group in response to not winning, and some of the other stuff is we can say whatever we want, but our statement and how we play and how we react on the ice is really the biggest statement we can make, and we've had a number of guys make that statement. Our team's made that statement the last 3 games.
After winning both games in Florida, the players were rewarded with a day off. Every player, that is, but one. Chris Letang had missed 20 games due to injury and was targeting a return at week's end. His coach wanted to make sure he was ready.
What's your plan here this week?
I was, well, first I thought we were going to practice.
I know. It's one of the reasons why I wanted to practice today, but...
I thought about
we're...
That's when
That would be nice.
I felt pretty good through the week. Had a day off Saturday, worked out yesterday, and...
All right, so tomorrow you'll have morning skate, which won't be hard, and then whatever workout. Then you'll practice with the team on Wednesday, go with us to New York on Wednesday. Right? That means today's should be hard.
Yep.
Good times.
Come on. Skate! Skate! Huh.
This foot should be straight. Open up this one. Yes.
Yeah! Down, let's go! Push! That's it, Chris. That's it! Ah! Yeah! Back, back, back! Lovely. That's it, Chris. You're done.
Although the exhausting search for a complete lineup is still ongoing, the Penguins finally got some good news with the return of All-Star Chris Letang, just in time to take on the NHL's hottest team. But it was another All-Star who stole the show.
Stolen by Malkin to the goal, backhand shot, scores! Evgeny Malkin absolutely ripped it upstairs on Lundqvist, and the Penguins lead it 3-1.
Evgeny Malkin scored his 5th third-period goal in 3 games, giving Pittsburgh its first win over the Rangers this season.
Yeah, it's unbelievable to watch. He's been by far one of our best players all year, and he really turned our tide for us when we had those losing streaks to get into the winning.
Gino is a guy who has extreme high care factor for the team and for his role on the team and what he can do on the team. And he's always had that. Conversation with Gino always center around how can he help the team, how can we win more Stanley Cups, how can we be a winner. I think as he's gotten older, that's matured and how that comes out. It's not just him taking the puck and trying to beat everybody.
I'd have to agree maturity is probably the biggest thing. They come in the league so early that people kind of lose sight of how young they still are.
Gino is just 25 years old, but his performance this season has been one for the ages. Last season, the Penguins did not have a single third-period come-from-behind win. This January, Evgeny Malkin helped them do it twice in one weekend.
And they take a 4-2 lead.
Dustin Jeffrey scored his second goal of the game and cut Montreal's lead to 1. With less than 3 minutes to play, Gino scored another third-period goal.
Neal in the Canadiens' end, right side of Malkin. One-timer, he shoots and scores! Evgeny Malkin with a one-time shot from the right wing circle, and the Penguins tied at 4. Oh, Donna needs a donut. It's Evgeny Malkin with a magic wand again.
It's exciting. The celebration after scoring a big goal and the excitement. When he gets excited like that, I know the whole bench gets excited, and we all just feed off of it. And he's been willing us to wins with his play and his talking and just his involvement in the locker room.
He's like automatic. You talk about confidence, swagger.
The Penguins win in the shootout and a come-from-behind win.
I think it starts with Gino's work ethic and how much confidence he has with the puck and where he's going. And Neal has always had a great shot, and if he can get open and Gino can find him, those are the things that really make the line go.
That line was as dominant as it's ever been in the Penguins' last home game before the All-Star break.
The Pittsburgh Penguins Russian-born Evgeny Malkin, since his teammate Sidney Crosby was injured in early December, the most points in the entire NHL.
James Neal with that wicked snapshot. Through traffic, it's Malkin. He's back on through 1 man, 2 men, trying to beat 2 more, and he can't do it. He's going to cuff his case, goes after a near corner, goes to Neal. Shoots the puck, scores! James Neal! Penguins tied at 3.
Neal with the drive, deflected wide, rebound!
Game over! Evgeny Malkin wins it for the Penguins.
Celebrations were great, trying to interact with the crowd and slamming on the glass. I know it's exciting for the guys coming off the bench to be able to get part of a big hug and a big high fives and pat each other on the head because we know it was a big win.
Life in the NHL is cyclical. The streaky nature of the game makes it a grind for everyone involved. But there are moments in every season that make it worth every second. Moments that transform a group of men into a team. And without those moments, their true potential can never be reached.
You always have to go through adversity. There's always got to be something that happens with your team that galvanizes your team. If you don't have it, if you don't find how your team plays and you don't find that in your team, you rarely get to your best, especially in an 82 games, especially going through 4 rounds of playoffs. You have to find that within your team, and this is a type of thing where you look at your team and say that was a galvanizing moment for our team. That was a tough time, and our team came out on the other side of it, and this is who we are.
This has been a presentation of Pens TV.